Welcome to Rick Rack Ruby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will be making this felt heart ornament from a vintage Vogue pattern. It's fun and easy, so let's get started. To make the heart ornament, we will start with a pattern. This is Vogue Pattern Santa Pack 4, 1542. This is a vintage pattern, but it's not hard to find. I have removed these transfers for the heart, and I have ironed them onto this Avery 8165 sticker paper. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I can see those sort of faint outlines, and I will use those for patterns. I have ironed on the hearts, the tulips, and the leaves. And then for this remaining piece, which is sort of like these petal shapes, I ironed it directly onto the orange felt. I'm not going to cut this out yet. I'm going to go ahead and place the tulips and the leaves and stitch those on first, and then I'll cut them out. Then I've also cut 2 of the red heart shapes from my felt. I'm using wool felt from Weir Crafts, W-E-I-R. I really like this felt. It's bright and it's a good thickness, and I really like it. I'll cut out 3 tulip stickers. One heart. You don't have to cut out exactly on the line. And 2 leaves. And then I'll, peel the backing off. Let's do the heart. I'll place that on the felt and then cut around the shape. So I will cut 1 heart, 3 tulips from yellow, and 2 little green leaves. Here are my pieces, and I have my machine threaded with this yellow color. And remember, don't cut out the orange little petals yet. So I'm going to peel the backing off my tulips and add a little smudge of glue stick, just a little bit, and then place them right over those placement lines. These are designed to fit right into this red heart front. Then the center heart overlaps a little bit. You can see the little lines there where this is designed to overlap a little bit over these petals. So I'm being careful that I'm placing these tulips exactly over that little perforated line. I can use these stickers about 3 times before they run out of their stick. And you get 3 sets of these with your pattern. You get 3 sets of the dark transfers, and you get 3 sets of yellow transfers, but I've never been able to get the yellow transfers to work. I think they're just too old. Sometimes I have trouble getting the dark transfers to work directly onto the felt, but for some reason I found that this pattern, this color, the dark transfer worked on my orange felt. Now I'm going to go around the edge of these tulip appliques with matching thread and a small little blanket stitch, a machine blanket stitch. You don't have to do that. You can use a straight stitch, you can use hand embroidery, you can just tack it down here and there, or you can just glue it. Whatever you like. Now I'll admit that it is challenging to get the embroidery exactly right on these V's, but I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm not a perfectionist. So I'll embroider those and come back and show you. I've stitched around each of the yellow tulips with my machine blanket stitch. And now I'm going to add these leaves. I peeled the stickers off and added a little smudge of glue stick and stuck those on. And now I'm going to attach them just with 1 single stitch. So it's sort of like the vein of the leaf. I have 2 strands of embroidery floss. So I'll come up just a little bit above the bottom point there, and then go back down right here, and then turn it over to the back and just tie it off. And then I'll repeat for the second leaf. Now you can of course sew this with you know, the blanket stitch or a hand embroidery or a straight stitch or zigzag or anything you like. Also, you can make this any color that you like. So maybe you don't like these crazy folk art kind of colors. You could do it all in pastels, or you could fill it with potpourri, make a little heart-shaped sachet, fill it with lavender. You know, you don't have to make exactly this design exactly for a Christmas ornament. Okay, so this is all complete. So now I'm going to cut these out, these 5 petals, and then I will apply them to the front of this heart background. And I'm always going to be sure that I have them placed accordingly so that the center heart will conceal these edges. And then I'm going to blanket stitch around each orange petal. So let me cut them out first. Now I'm going to glue stick these to the front of the heart, and I want to be sure that not only this shape conceals the edge of each petal, but also that I have enough of the red showing around the outside that I'm able to have a seam allowance there. I'm going to sew these right sides together and then turn it and make it that way instead of blanket stitching around the entire edge. All right, that looks good. So now I'm going to machine blanket stitch with orange around each one of these petals, just around these curved edges, and these inner edges don't need to be treated. They will be covered up with this, and then this is going to be stitched, so they'll be perfectly secure. I have stitched around those orange petals. Here's how it looks on the back. And now I'll add a little smudge of glue stick to the back of this heart. There we go. And now I will blanket stitch around the edge of this heart with matching thread. Here is my heart, the center heart. This right here is a little bit wonky, but it's not too bad. Here's how it looks on the back. And I kind of chickened out. I've decided I'm just going to do a red blanket stitch around the edge, stuff it, you know, leave an opening, stuff it, and then blanket stitch to close. I thought that I would do right sides together, but I'm looking at this seam allowance and I just don't think it's quite enough. So I'm going to blanket stitch with red around the edge. I think I'll leave an opening right here, about maybe 2 inches, 1.5 inches, and stuff it, and then go back and blanket stitch to close. Here we go. I've stitched around the edge, and I like to take a chopstick and kind of check the seam around the edge so that I don't have anything that's kind of come open. Maybe I, you know, stitched a little far off the edge, but this seems to be ready to go. So I'm going to stuff through this opening. I have a nice quality of polyester Fiberfill stuffing. It's called Polyfill Ultra Plush. I really like it. And so I'm just going to take my time and stuff it a little bit at a time. I'll use my chopstick to be sure that I get it all the way over to the edge. I have finished stuffing, but what I want to do is push this in away from the opening, and then I'm going to pin this kind of like this so that I have this nice flat edge to close up. There we go. It's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. And now I have a piece of baker's twine on a nice big fat needle, and I'm going to sew a hanging loop through the top center here. I'll do an overhand knot here at the top. And then I'm going to add a bow. Let's see. That looks good. So I'm just going to tie a bow around the front half of this right here. There we go. Okay, so just like you're tying a shoe, just loop, tie, there you go. And the pattern actually has some of those sort of little felt rolls at the top of the heart. And sometimes I will substitute pom-poms, but I don't think this needs it. I added the bow, and I think that's going to be enough. So each one of these streamers will get a little overhand knot in the end, which just prevents fraying. I've made 6 of these. They're all really cute. They all kind of look the same. There's no, this one I did go around the edge of the green leaves instead of doing the single stitch, but I just think this is a little bit more interesting. Now when my hot glue gun warms up, I'll put a little touch of glue here at the center of this bow, and then we'll be done. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.